want to talk a little bit about Tremendous Thanksgiving, and in order to do that, we really maybe need to start with obviously a quick walk to history. The Plymouth colonists and I can't say this name of Indians, but the Wampanoag Indians basically shared an autumn harvest feast in 1621, which is historically documented as one of the first Thanksgiving celebrations in the colonies. From that point forward, Thanksgiving days were celebrated by individual colonies and states for 2 centuries. Only years later, in 1863, did President Abraham Lincoln proclaim a National Thanksgiving Day to be held each November during the time of Civil War. Clearly, his goal was to make everyday folks remember to count their blessings in the midst of tough times. Well, this first Thanksgiving really kind of represents some incredible giving Indians, feeding and saving the lives of the colonists. Savvy white folks know that America might be a very different place today were it not for this Indian generosity. Now, as there's 2 sides to every story, and really 3 if you're a trained journalist like me, the same Indian tribe apparently, I discovered through doing a little research, remembers the day less positively. And regrets doing this due to the incredible suffering they experienced afterwards as they got dragged into modern living and colonized. And we all could, we could spend hours talking about that. But what I like about the story in relation to today's business topic is Tremendous Thanksgiving, or how to gain what we call radical recommendations, radical referrals, is that in a tough economy, the giving of referrals can actually be life-giving to small businesses. And at the same time, the giving referrals can also come with regrets. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So today, I'm going to help you assess what's called your social equity. Now, those of us who are using a lot of social media know that we can check our clout scores, for social media to see how we rank and whether or not we're considered someone who knows something about social media or not. But at the same time, I think social equity is really a great way to assess oneself with regard to your referral process. And so we're going to go through, today, we're going to talk about how to gain greater referrals, and we're going to give you some takeaway trips that will hopefully transform your business. You obviously are welcome to use the page to put in the notes, and also to use the backside of the paper there if you feel so choose. We're going to kind of blast through this because, as most of you know, we like to have some good discussion about what we're doing. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the 5 barriers to referrals. The 5 barriers to you getting referrals. And obviously at our forum, because my logo's a dragon, that I'll blaze your butt. So I prefer you to do it yourself, right? And meaning do the mirror check. How are you really doing this? And I know, because I've been working with the marketeer mastermind groups, that a lot of people really think they're giving referrals. But when we actually get them to write it down on paper, they discover they're not giving referrals. They're really not giving referrals. Referrals is not a part of their practice. So let's talk about the 5 barriers to referrals, or what's going to create your social equity score. The first, and we're starting with 5 really, which should be rather common sense, but it's failure to acknowledge and act on referrals. Okay? Great example, I was at an event a couple weeks ago. I met a woman. I knew someone that could really benefit from her. They could have a great win-win-win situation. I gave the referral. I ran into her at another event and I said, how did it go? Oh, I don't know. I've been so busy. And it's like, okay, last time I'm giving you a referral. That's it. You get one chance at this. Okay? And referrals are like sales to be earned. Okay, you don't just automatically get referrals. You have to earn them. So this is all common sense. But someone gives you a referral or offers you advice, but you never call, you're going to lose that opportunity. Number 4. Okay. Did you need more on number 5? Or was that too hard? No. Remember, I said we're starting with number 5. The most common sense thing. We're going backwards. I'm making you work this morning.
Everyone's paying attention.
I escape here.
You're the only one that can touch.
I'm having you think outside the box.
I did number 5.
Jennifer's been working with me well.
Following directions.
Yeah, and truly, with number 5, referrals are a pay-it-forward system, right?
Yes.
The only way you can get the universe to give back to you is you by giving. And something else, some people think, well, you can't do it based on that person never gives me a referral. Because the truth is you don't know. You don't know if they're not giving you referrals. You just don't know if someone's not acting on it. Okay? Number 4, it's missed opportunities or misinterpreting non-introductions. Okay? So, simple example, you're at an event, you run into someone who obviously knows a lot of people there, okay? So you're asking that person to introduce you, okay? And at the same time, you're going to ask the opposite question, which is what happened to me at an event the other day. I was standing there. Tony was right next to me. God bless him. You know, he was standing right next to me, but I intentionally was not introducing him to someone who came up and talked to me a long time. It wasn't because I didn't like Tony, it's because I knew this person. Okay, you know, and what is it, that Lao Tzu thing is you keep your enemies close, right? Your friends close and your enemies closer, right? So the reality is I just didn't want him to have the mess that I had had with that person. You know, so remember, your referrals, your introductions reflect on you too. So it's nothing personal to Tony, it was just, you know, the way it was.
More of a protection, right?
It's a protection for him. It's a protection for him.
Thank you.
Take that.
You know.
Did you explain that after the fact? Or did
No,
you?
I didn't, and that's why I'm doing it now. Because I thought Tony must think I'm a real bozo, you know. So, but yeah, okay. All right, so number 3. Failure to have a defined referral process. This is something we're finding an awful lot in the Marketeers Mastermind group. Is that people are talking about referrals, but they really make none. They can't even list more than usually 1 or 2 that they regularly make. Okay, and considering there's at least 10 to 12 people in this room, right, and most of you are members, you ought to be making a lot more referrals than that. Okay? So the question is, the mirror up, Mike, the mirror up situation is, who do you regularly refer? Who do you really refer? When, why, and how often? Okay? Now, the obvious answers to that question is the people giving you their time, the people giving you their knowledge, the people giving you their money, and the people giving you introductions. Notice that money was not number 1. Okay? And if you're not making daily or weekly referrals, you don't have a referral process. You're not putting enough out there. It's kind of like when you're trying to, in the old days when you were trying to get a job. You know, you couldn't just send 3 resumes and go, I'm going to get that job. No, you had to send 100, right, to get any response. Okay? All right. Number 2, failure to ask at an appropriate time in an appropriate way. So never assume you should get that business referral. The greatest time to get a referral is when the client says, thank you so much for your work. Your immediate natural response should be, you're welcome. I'm so glad you feel good about our work together. Together, key word. I wonder, do you have a colleague or friend who might also need my help? Right then and there. The minute they say thank you, nice and smooth. Practice it over and over again. The word, keywords, feel, work together, right? Might need my help. I wonder, right? No pressure in the word I wonder, okay? As opposed to a could or a would or a should, okay? And number 1, the number 1 barrier to getting referrals. Well, like Jesus, everybody and every business owner needs 12 referral partners, okay? 1 business per category, preferably. So, your referral worthiness is your ability to listen, to be proactively concerned with other people's businesses. Meaning, you might be calling them, you might be going to lunch, you might be saying, so how are you really doing? What can I do to help you? Okay? And it's important when you have those meetings, those one-on-ones, you should be making private notes. Right? Because by the time you leave or you have the next for me, I stack my appointments. By the time I move to the next guy, I've not really forgotten, but it's already been categorized back here. And it's going to take a note to pull it back out again. And you want to be making those private shorthand notes about people's pet peeves. You need to also know the enemies of your partner. Every once in a while, a business owner is going to let a real brief slip. And you need to pay attention to that. Right? Because that business owner knows they said the wrong PC thing in front of you. And then they discover you're off fraternizing with the dude that you just told them about. Not good. Right? The truth always comes out. So, the other thing is, don't be making your associates jump through hoops to get your business. Okay? Don't treat people like a vendor. Come in and sing and dance for me about your business. No. It's an automatic. You give the business, right? Or you find out, can they do the business? Right? Then you go look for someone else if they can't do it. Okay. So, that was number 1, your referral trustworthiness, or worthiness. All right, now, we need some Thanksgiving, because the goal is we want to be, by the time Thanksgiving comes around, we want our marketing process, whether it's the word of mouth, which everybody wants, or the true things we need to do, we know statistically from research we have to do, which is actually implementing marketing strategies, marketing methodology. We want, by the time Thanksgiving rolls around every year, to be being able to have the cash flow to be and giving thanks, okay? So that's the whole point of this tremendous Thanksgiving. By Thanksgiving time, we want to be able to do that. And so let's talk about now Thanksgiving profit strategies. Okay, there are 5 of them.